Foul. My bowler's instinct of always trying to just look for that wicket, put pressure on them, the batting side. Change of angle then, round the wicket. Really good first over, just 2 runs and the wicket and wide, 37 for 3. It's filling up and the party atmosphere is beginning. Sri Lanka are in a good position at the moment, just 11 overs done. They have Bangladesh 37 for 3. Dhananjaya with his 3rd over, just 1 for 5 so far. Just getting his field right. Was considering going round the wicket and now has changed. Going over the wicket. Quite like this as well. Looks like he's having a leg slip. Stop that little nurdle down to short fine.
These players know each other so very well, having played internationally and also in the franchises in different countries. And this is the wicket of Shakib. He just tried to cut it, got a bit of glove to that one. A good take on the second grab. And there's the keeper. And you see, just popped up on the second bite. He got that. And he got that wicket. The young man was very happy. So was the keeper.
A couple.
Just read the line and the length of the ball very well. Was into position for that little paddle round the corner. Seemed to be controlling that shot and get a couple of runs. Ridha, just into his 10th match, 340 runs. Those 350s. Very, very respected player for Bangladesh.
The more I see that wicket of Shakib is what we were talking about with Pathirana and his wrist position, that sometimes it probably comes off the pitch just a little bit slower because his wrist isn't behind. Reverse sweep.
Now the reverse, always a shot that has to be premeditated. This feel that Najmul Hasan Chanto need not really go into and try the shot. Look at this. Once again, the release you're talking about, more angle. And it's not landing on the seam. Maybe the skin of the ball and that possibly slowing it down and giving it also a little bit of nip off the pitch itself.
Push for 2. We pick up 1. Yeah, and I think if he does get it on the seam now and again, it might just get a bit more pace as well. Interesting to keep an eye on how he goes in the next couple of years, his pace, what he can do better. Clip to mid-wicket for none. Dot ball to finish. 12 overs done, 42 for 3. Bangladesh, who are looking to put a partnership together. Sri Lanka on the attack, slip in place. Nice shot that from Ridway, just let the ball come on.
I think he's got to just tell himself that this is a period that when they need to rebuild, going back to the fact that he is an aggressive batsman, is Dawid Ridway. But this young man, Tirana, Piksana versus Tanzit, the wicket over. He read his deliveries. The Fuller one, which just got him. The one just nipped back in, expecting the offie. It went on with arm.
Such a good delivery, really good delivery. Just squeezes it out. You just see the difference in the pace every now and again from Pathirana. It's like his fuller balls could be quicker. See the length, then the line. He just holds that back. Simple catch. Just see the difference. A couple of normal off spinners, and then he just releases that a little bit slower. Quick single. That's really good. Good communication between the two batters.
Alert to the situation. You've got to take every opportunity of getting the runs. You don't want to get bogged down and get frustrated. But Tirana just very relaxed in his approach, the way he bowls his deliveries, seems to have trust in his abilities and putting the balls in the right places.
Keeps swapping from over and around all the time, Pathirana. Short ball, beautiful shot, picked up length really quickly. Shantone puts it away for a boundary.
That's going to release some pressure. That's something for the ball band of Bangladeshi supporters to be happy about. Short, asking to be punished, and is swiveling around. Really got into that shot. Really nailed it. Off it went to the boundary. Excellent shot.
Yeah, he picks up length really quickly. A good position to put away that short ball. Now problems for Pathirana. Going back over the wicket. Short again, straight to mid-wicket. Definitely going with that short plan. There is a man back out at deep square leg.
The Sri Lankan spinners today, it's been in terms of lengths pretty much all over. Quite a few short ones, and then the dot balls in the good length area. It's been a mix, but Bangladesh have really played into their hands on certain occasions.
Better length. Still be a single to finish off the 13 over 8 runs from it. 50 up. It's 50 for 3.
Hills in Sri Lanka, clouds always hovering around. Nice and cool here, by the way, in Kandy. Lovely to be just outside. And no wonder the crowd is just coming in and preferring to be out in the open with the bands that they've got here, having fun.
Yes, it's a second largest city in Sri Lanka, home for the sacred tooth of relic, commonly known as Dalla Maligava. Also home for the legends like Kumar Sangakkara and Muralidharan.
So would Sangha have played a lot of his initial cricket here, born and bred here as a cricketer?
Well, Sangakkara's story is it's phenomenal. He only started cricket after seeing Sri Lanka winning the World Cup back in 1996 when he was about 16, I guess.
Just looking at those pictures as you were making that point, it's such an ancient landscape. And absolutely untamed, like the country itself. I had the great privilege of going for a walk out of my hotel. Managed to pick up a couple of leeches as well, but up in those incredible hinterlands, it was like you were the first man that had ever walked it. Long, tall grass, beautiful big trees. You felt very close to nature, and it's a spectacular environment.
Interesting that I never came to Sri Lanka as a player. Never got picked. Somehow, for some reason. The moment I turned commentator, numerous trips to Sri Lanka. Always look forward to it. Being about a 3-4 year gap since that last game. The moment I landed. Close call. Enough power to take that ball over his head. It's 55-3.
You said it. I think we were doing the pitch. Just holding in the wicket in the first innings.
Especially against the spinners. Having said that, Dhananjay is a very clever bowler. I don't think he's getting as much spin as he wants, but he compensates that with speed, trying to bowl at different speeds, trying to fox the batsman.
Type run chase here on the cards for the home team defending champions of the Asia Cup. These overhead conditions they're provided.
It is, challenging enough for the batter facing Pathirana with his action. Of course, the fielders are being sort of cushioned by the conditions of the grounds. That was a quick one. That was a quick bouncer. With Pathirana, you could easily see that he bowls two lengths. That's what Malinga used to do. Interestingly, Shami picked up saying that he could get the wrist cocked and try and get the seam up. Malinga actually picked it up later in his career. He found it out. He's a clever guy.
Yeah, so very side arm, but the wrist was sort of vertical, pointing upwards. And maybe he'll also get the shot. You're right about the two lengths. The bouncer that four guys, was so short because the release point is so low. To get that ball up over the batter's head, he has to go really short. And then you see the Yorker as well. So at some point, we'll have to look at his pitch map and see the kind of variations of length that he has. He's almost forced to bowl.
Yeah, I think what we're looking for is the trajectory of the ball, Sanjay, because if we've got someone like Ritika who'll bowl into the wicket at the same or similar length to Pathiranga, the bounce will be extraordinary. Another short one, whipped away, good shot, 4 more.
Highly taken up, and I think he was misled. In fact, that the earlier one flew through to the wicketkeeper, but this was just sitting there for him to hit, and then the left-hander did no mistake.
If decide that anything that's going to be short, you're going to pull it. There is enough time because it's so short that you get time to see the ball get into a position. Tall bowlers are much fuller, so slightly more difficult.
It had to be so short to get it up. And that gave you more time. You could almost pull him off the front foot. He was a lot more dangerous, I suspect, like Pataranda as well, at the back end, when the ball started to tail and reverse and created interesting angles. And he also gave you no opportunity to get underneath the ball. When he's short, you can be owned.
The end of the over, 62 with 3. Good start for Sri Lanka. Had to qualify for the World Cup. Won every match in that qualifying tournament. Kind of tempo carrying into the Asia Cup. Perfect. Dress rehearsing for the World Cup. 50 overs format this time. This is something that Sri Lanka has always had. This trade of all their batters wanting to bowl. 1996 World Cup champs, Mavanatapatu was part of that squad, didn't play a single game, I'm told, but that team had at least 4 or 5 pure batters who would walk into the team as pure batters still could bowl.
Sanjay, I think we had clear plans. Okay. Well, Shanak is getting what he wants from his part-time off. He's more than a part-time now. There's bowled more than a couple of overs for him, and he has done his job up until now.
We've seen a couple of ominous signs on our screens right there. The men in fluoro yellow seem to be meandering out to the middle. And there are some dark clouds now starting to cover over on the hills. Toss. Skipper was concerned about that. He thought it was a good toss because he was thinking that Duckworth Lewis might come into play today, and maybe he'll be proved right.
Maybe bat saved him because that seemed like pretty straight. That's why the look on Dhananjaya de Silva's face. 16 overs gone. 64 for 3. And I think the umpires are beckoning the drinks to come out of the field. Bangladesh won the toss, elected to bat first, not worrying about the weather. And at the moment it's overcast, but no harm yet. And you can see these sights and exactly where you are. Wonderful city of Kandy. It's about 3.5 hours drive from Colombo. Beautiful drive. Good number of nature if you like. See trees, tropical trees. Lots to look at. That was a kingfisher, white throated. Trying to be different, like a hula, my old friend. Trying to identify birds. And of course, a lot of just festivals and celebrations, today being one of those days. There you go, just a couple of dwellings on those hills. That's what I've always loved over the years. Sri Lankan fans, they come, they just have fun. The team loses, you just walk away, smile on the face remains. You don't overreact to teams, especially defeats. Somewhere in the background, just hearing music from some of the drums. Used to be in the Sri Lankan thing. So 3 wickets have fallen. Bangladesh got 64 runs with the ball. Very early introduction. Good shot.
That was a short selection. I think this was on to him in a flash. Good catch, Mendes. The finisher of to see basically Bangladesh captain of. Good scalp, and he can be happy about it. Sri Lanka, all in all, to have Bangladeshis reeling at 64 for 3 at the end of the 16th over, should be very happy.
And especially because one of those wickets is Shakib. I know the threat of Mushfiqur Rahim still lurks. There's maybe a sent down the auto can bat, but Shakib was the key wicket, and I thought that wicket was really the keeper's wicket. What a catch that was, all going down. Wasn't the greatest delivery. Got a little, I think, confused by the change of pace. Didn't come on as quickly as he expected Shakib. Time for some left arm spin.
Well, again, he's tall, if no unorthodox bowler. He's had a little pause at the very point of time in his delivery, which means that he's automatically getting batsmen on the front foot. Right, we called it a little earlier, circumspect about the ground crew coming out in droves. They could feel it in water, so to speak, because right now it's just starting to shower. It's not a heavy shower, but
rain's coming, so before it actually comes down heavy on the ground, the covers are in place. And very simple tactic here, and should be in India as well. In a lot of venues, is just cover the whole ground. Covers, you've got enough people to do that. Sometimes we get too obsessed with great drainage and stuff like that, but in a country where there's no unseasonal rains, especially in India, it can leave the pitches and the outfield very dry, and then more demand for water. And you see these guys do a wonderful job of covering the whole ground. When it stops raining, carefully remove the covers and you're on again.
yeah, it's interesting you say that, Sanjay, because you think the ground like the one in Bangalore, you know, it's really, really incredibly well drained. You and I have commentated many times when it's been absolutely bucketing down with rain, And yet, the moment that it stops, bang, you're out there. But I think what the drainage does tend to do is it tends to suck away the moisture of the content of the wicket.
It makes sense to have a good drainage system in Bangalore because it can rain anytime. It gets hot in Bangalore, it rains. It rained during the IPL as well. But many places in India, you hardly get to see unseasonal rain, so maybe those grounds can keep it simple. Good news from here.
Well, big block of Roach has called it early. Paul Wilson, residing down towards the commentary box end, has called nothing more than a false alarm. So the men in yellow need to quickly remove these covers because it's action time again.
Seeing a couple of Sri Lankan bowlers at the moment, both very good batters as well. That's something you guys Sri Lankans have always had. That World Cup winning team, Arvinda De Silva, the 10 overs, Arjuna Ranatunga, Asanka Kurusinghe, so many of them. And even here, Dhananjaya De Silva, you're seeing Velalage as well, who will bat later. Some good shots played as well. Some good bowling.
Well, yeah, early on it was coming onto the bat nicely. One or two misfields, a catch going, begging. Shots like this really help the Sri Lankan bowling and their task. The wicket showed so much promise coming onto the bat. Good catch by Mendes then, off the captain, see him off, and Sri Lanka all in all in a good position.
Never been able to really break free in any way. Despite some good shots, they've been restricted the entire time. Doesn't matter whether it was with fast bowling or now spin. And this is where these first 15, 16 overs, they make a difference with that hard new ball. You need to get a real move on because once the spinner comes on through the middle, it becomes a lot trickier to score. So Sri Lanka are well and truly on top of this match.
We're talking about the catch by Kushal Mendes. Have a look at this. You can give you an idea how the trajectory changes. Gloved it, so base dies and goes down. This is short balls, Garen. Just had the keeper trying to stay up. Reaction time as well. Not too much, but because ball came off the glove with a little more time. But just going down with the left hand. That was an impact.
Yeah, it's much harder to stay down, Sergio, than come up with a catch. Means that we're watching the ball really closely. That reaction time slowed down. If that had been a flurry off the edge of the bat, it would have been much quicker and it would have gone higher. So to watch the ball and stay down was an excellent piece of wicket-keeping.
So he's got 9 wickets in 9 one-day international. Dunit Velarege, first-class batting average of 27, let's say 22, so he'll come in and contribute with the bat as well.
Velalage is supposed to have come up the ranks, playing for under 19s, emerging teams, A teams, and now he's on big stage performing for Sri Lanka. Talking about combinations that Sri Lanka lucky to have had during 96, as you said, Ravinda Sanath was one of the mainstays. Of course, he became the man of the series then. Short again, I think the ball is still being bowled short. Velalage hasn't really got it right in terms of length. I think he's wise enough. He'll soon understand that he got to throw the ball a bit too up to the batsman. Still not there. Still not there.
A lot of spinners. I can just imagine, just because of the conditions here, when you think of all-rounders from our country in Australia, they're mostly all-rounders that bowl medium pace. Here, spin, spin and more spin. Did you tweak out a few?
At the end of the over, 68 for 3.
17 overs gone, 68 for 3 Bangladesh. बहुत बड़ा हाथ पर सारे बांग्लादेश करने वाला को है अकाई का
Well, asking about my bowling performances, it was got one wicket. That's of Asif Mustafa. Bowled the leg spin. Don't ask me which way it went. Ended up at slips.
So Asif Mustafa, left-hand batter, and you gave a rip, a leg break that may have not turned for the outside edge.
How many catches have you taken of Warney being in for slip of left-handers?
Yeah, I can't give you a number, but a fair few.
Is he a big turner?
Yeah, reasonable. He was basically big at everything, Warney. He was a big character. He's big in this format of the game, one-day cricket. I think he was an absolute master of test match cricket, but even in one-day cricket, he was a wildly character. He turned the ball prodigiously. He was always in a fight. That's what is such a key to one-day cricket. That's why I love the format so much, Mark.
Because of feeling there, seeing him on the field, listening to him, the way he double buffed people, talking about a left-hander facing him, having you at first slip and then maybe poof at leg slip, doesn't make sense. All of a sudden, you don't get the big spinner, you get a slider which ends up in your hands.
Tell you what you wouldn't have seen from Warney, that sort of fielding effort. He would have been perched up in first slip, not diving around like this fella. What a great piece of energy and fielding for his team that was.
Projected with 7 runs on the board, around 230. Still Mushfiqur Rahim to come. And then you've got to maybe acknowledge the fact that both the Mehdi Hassans can bat. So 2 of those, Mushfiqur, still 5 batters. Great delivery. One of those that you bowled, Mohammed. To Mustafa, that didn't turn. 69 for 3.
18 overs gone, 69 for 3 Bangladesh.
Seeing very much trying to point to the wicket. Didn't really ever catch certain spots whatsoever, so straight on. Excellent, hasn't he, the silver?
Things are moving fast for Sri Lanka, getting through their overs. What Bangladeshis need to do at this stage of the game is look for the single, rotate the strike if they're not getting the force. I think not much emphasis being given to that, which I think is a mistake.